Hey, boys and girls, welcome to Whole and Mixed Numbers 10.9 in our math workbooks. Now, we've seen a whole, right? We've seen a whole pan of donuts. We've seen a whole pan of brownies. We've seen a whole pizza. We've seen things divided, a whole bag of gummy bears, whole sets. So we can actually have a whole, but we can also have what's called mixed numbers, which means it has a whole and a fraction. So mixed numbers means a whole and a fraction. Okay, so let's look at this. We are going to use this one as an example. This is my awesome artwork, boys and girls. Here is my jelly sandwich. What we had, let's pretend that Joel's mom made him a gluten-free jelly sandwich. That looks like grape jelly. Joel, I don't know if you like that or not, but let's just pretend. Okay, so we have 2 whole sandwiches. So these little dots right here are the parts that were there but were missing. So she packed him 2 because he wanted to have some for lunch, and then he wanted extra for after-school care. So he ate 3 little chunks. What did he eat? And what does he have left over? Let's look at it. So in the beginning, he had 2 whole sandwiches. But are these cut? Yes, they are. How many slices are they cut into? 4 cuts. So we know that there's 4 parts in the sandwich. And how many parts are there? 4. Okay, this was the same. He had another whole sandwich that was 4 parts, cut into 4 parts, but then he ate 3. Okay, he ate 3 out of the 4, leaving him with 4 minus 3 is 1, and the denominator stays the same. So this is 1/4 left over right here. And this is 4/4. 4/4 also equals 1. Any number, 4 parts out of 4 parts, 8 parts out of 8 parts, 100 parts out of 100 parts, that equals 1 whole. So if I said, Joel, how much do you have left over for after school? He could say, I have 1 right here. See, that's 1, and 1/4. And we write that like this, 1 and 1/4. Make sure your number 1 is tall, so we know that's a whole one. If it gets sloppy, boys and girls, this is what I don't want to see. 1 and 1/4. What does that look like to you? That looks like 11/4. That is not the same thing. Make sure your whole number is tall as your whole fraction. 1 and 1/4. Okay, so if I had 1 and 1/4 of a dollar, let's think about that. Do you know what a fourth of a dollar is, boys and girls? If any of you go to the snack shack, I bet you know. How many quarters equal a dollar? 4. So 25 cents equals 1/4 of a dollar. Okay, so if I were to say, you have $1.25. What is that as a mixed number? $1.25. So if every 25 cents equals 1/4, what do you have? Well, a dollar. I have 1 whole dollar, and I have 25 cents, which is 1/4. Ooh, challenge for anyone who is really looking for a challenge today. How much if you have $2.50? What is that as a fraction? Let's think about it. If 25 cents equals 1/4, then 50 cents equals what? 2/4. Do I just have 2/4? Nope. How many whole dollars do I have? 2. So $2.50 as a fraction, this is a real big brain challenge, is 2 2/4 dollars. Isn't that amazing? That was just a fun challenge. Okay, Open up to your workbook page. We, again, are on page 293. Sorry, this page copied really curvy. See, it's like curvy, but we can still read it. Okay. This sandwich is cut into fourths. Since all 4 of the fourths are here, there are 4 fourths, or 1 whole, just like we did with Joel's sandwich. No matter how you slice it, each is 1 whole sandwich. So could I cut my sandwich into halves? My mom always used to cut my sandwiches into fourths, but she did it this way. And I especially loved tuna sandwiches as a kid, but even though they smelled bad. Okay, can you cut a sandwich in half? We have 1, 2 slices. So we have 2 out of 2. Is that a whole? Yes. Can I cut them into fourths? Yep. Could I cut them into fourths this way? Sure. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4 fourths. Still a whole. Oops, sorry. All right, forgive me. If I had cut it this way, is it still fourths? Yep, it's still 4 fourths. 4 fourths. And that's still 1 whole. What if I cut it into eighths? I have not met many people who cut their sandwich into eighths. They get really small and the stuff falls out. Especially one of Tegan's yummy sandwiches, have so many yummy parts that always fall out. This would be like the worst cut for your sandwich, Tegan. This is 8 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 out of 8 is still 1 whole. Do you see that? No matter how many slices you do, it's still 1 whole. Same with Costco. I don't know if you knew this, but you can actually get them when you order a whole pizza. You can change the number of slices that you get out of the whole pizza, but it's the same size as the whole pizza. Okay, let's look at this one. Kind of reminds me of Joel's sandwich that we were just talking about. Here's one whole, okay, and 1, let's see, if you're not quite sure, let's look at what's missing. How many was that out of? 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And how many do we have still? We have 1 fourth. 1 and 1/4 sandwich. What if you were hungry enough to eat more than 1 sandwich? If you ate this much, you would have eaten 1 and 1/4. Write it and say 1 and 1/4. 1 and 1/4. Awesome. So read this with me. A mixed number, let's do it again. Some of you didn't say it. A mixed number is a whole number and a fraction, such as 1 and 1/4. Okay, so we just discussed that. Now, could it be 1 and 2/4? Sure. Can it be 5 and 1/4? Yes. So it's any whole number and a fraction. Excellent. Okay, let's move on. Write the mixed number. So we know all the numbers, these are all shaded in. So even though this is 6/6, that equals 1. So I know that my whole number is 1. Now let's look at this. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And how many are shaded? So we know that the new denominator is 6. And 1, 2, 3, 4 shaded. 1 and 4, 6. Makes that 1 tall, as tall as your fraction. Okay, we have 3 out of 3 right here. 3 out of 3 equals 1 whole. Plus 1, 2, 3. There's 3 total. And how many parts do we have shaded? 1, 2, 2/3. All right, let's look at it, boys and girls. We have, this is a whole, this is a whole. Now we know that's 4 out of 4, but that's a whole. 4 out of 4, that's a whole. So we have how many holes? 1 whole, 2 whole. So we have 2. 2's our whole number. 2 whole sandwiches plus 1, 2, 3, 4. That's our denominator. And 1/4 shaded in. 2 and 1/4. Awesome. Is this making sense? Okay, here's our pizzas. We have 1 whole pizza right here. Now, how many was it? 1, 2, it's 8/8, but we know it's 1 whole. That it's 8/8, but we know that is the same as 1 whole pizza, making that number nice and tall. And we know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This other pizza's sliced into 8s. And how many are shaded? 1, 2, 3. 3/8. Excellent. I hope this is making sense. Keep going. Here we go. Write as a mixed number. These are fun pictures, boys and girls. Write as a mixed number. Again, I'm not even going to count these. I know that this is 1 whole right here. 1. But I am going to count my fractions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The denominator is 5. How many are shaded in? 1, 2, 3. 3/5. 1 and 3/5. Say that with me. 1 and 3/5. Excellent. So I have 1 whole here. I have 2 holes altogether. That's number 1, that's number 2. So I have 2 holes, and let's find my fraction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6. It's 6 slices. And how many are shaded? 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 6. So I would read that 2 and 4, 6. Excellent. All right. I love changing colors. Here we go. Here's 1 whole right here. That's 1 whole. So I'm going to write number 1 really big. And I can look at this one. I can tell you that it's a half, but here's why. 1, 2. And how many are shaded out of 2? 1. So this is 1 and 1/2. Maybe those are cookie bits that you're sharing with a friend. 1 and 1/2. Do you remember when Laura and Mary were sharing with baby Carrie their cookie and they couldn't figure out their fractions? And so they ended up giving baby Carrie too much because they didn't know how to do their fractions. So I'm going to remind you of that one because if they knew it, so Laura and Mary each had a cookie and they wanted to share with baby Carrie. And so they broke their cookie up into halves, ate half, and gave each a half to baby Carrie. So they each gave a half to baby Carrie. So what did baby Carrie end up getting? She ended up getting 2 halves. So she got a whole cookie even though she was the baby. What Mary and Laura should have done, if they really wanted it to be equal, is they could have given baby Carrie, they could have cut their own cookie into thirds, right? And they could have each given baby Carrie a third of their cookie. So baby Carrie would have had 2/3. Sorry, I didn't draw that very well. 2/3. And Laura and Mary each could have had 2/3. But they didn't know their fractions. So they ended up giving baby Carrie too much. Okay, let's look at number 8. Here we go. Go back to red. 1, 2 holes. Write your number 2 really big, but neat. And then let's look at our last one. 1, 2, 3 parts. And 2 that are shaded. 1, 2, 2 and 2/3. Excellent. Okay, it says write the letter of the model that matches the object. So these are the letters. They're going to match the fractions down below. So boys and girls, when we see fractions in real life, do we usually see boxes and things like this? No, we do see sandwiches and pizzas, maybe pie, maybe some cakes. But a lot of our fractions in the world are not going to look like this. But let's see if we can make them match. Okay, let's look at the holes first. Let's look at the whole number first. So we have 1, 2 whole inches. And I will show you, this one's the trickiest of them all. So this is there's 1, there's 2, and this line, I'm going to switch colors so you can see it a little bit better. This line right here is halfway between 1 and 2. So that is called a half, right? So here is 2. We have 1, 2 plus the other half. This one is 2.5. And see if that one matches. That's nope. Nope, there's only 1 hole there, 1 hole there. 2, there it is. 1, 2, and there's the half. Okay, so this is letter D. Okay, look at number 10. Number 10. So we have 1 whole chocolate bar. And I can tell you, let's see, how many squares? Is this a half? See if it matches. Yes. And I can know for sure because I can do this. Watch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So half of 24 is 12. And look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Or I can just do this. That is halfway. Okay, there's halfway. So we know this is 1 and a half. Which one of these is 1 and a half? A, B, C, or D? 1 and a half. I see it. Here, 1, and there's the half. 1 half. So it is letter B. Ooh, back to our money. Do you remember we did that? How much is a quarter worth? A quarter, 25 cents, equals 1/4 of a dollar because there's 4 quarters in a dollar. Okay, so which one of these pictures matches 1 and 1/4? I see it. Do you see it? Write it on your line. 1 and 1/4. 1. Oops, sorry. Writing the letter. So the answer to that one is A. Okay, I know that there's only one left, but let's double check to make sure we got it right. See this pizza? It's kind of tricky. It looks like a Pac-Man right now. How many slices is that? So this is 1 whole plus 1, 2, 3 out of the imaginary 4 because there's 1 missing. So 1 and 1/4. Oops, I did it again. 1 and 1/4. 1 and 1/4 is, oh, I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3/4. 1 and 3/4 matches 1 and 1, 2, 3/4. So that is C. Excellent. Now draw a model to show the fraction. Okay, draw a model to show the fraction. Boys and girls, this is fun because this is up to you. Could I draw a chocolate bar? Yes. Could I draw a pizza? Yes. Could I draw a sandwich? Yes. Could I draw, I don't know what else I could draw. Candies in a bag. Sure. Let's see. I'm for that, since I just said it, I'm going to draw a little Ziploc baggie full of candies. And they're all in the bag. And there's 5 out of 5. I'll just draw like little candies. 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a full bag of candies. Okay. What might be easier if you want to draw an actual fraction model, I'll erase this so you can see. I will draw an actual fraction model. And they're not perfectly equal, but I'm going to color it in. 5 out of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, you can make this choice. You don't have to do what I did. But I just wanted to show you so you make sure you're clear and you're on the right track. 1 and 1/5. I'm just going to do, again, this fraction model. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. And same 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to switch colors so you can see it better. If I have 1, I need to color in all 5/5. See, there's my whole number right there, 1. So there's my 1 and 1/5. Okay, 1 and 1/5. 2 and 2/6. I'm going to do another one over here. I'm going to make it skinnier so it will fit. 1, 2. Okay, and I'm going to draw these in 6. These are a little bit harder to draw than like 4ths. Let's see, double check, make sure I got it right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. And they're not totally even, but I'm trying my best. But we know in real life, every fraction is exactly the same to be a true fraction. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I'm going to color those in. We'll do pink this time. So to get 2 whole, that means I need to color this in whole, both of these. Okay, here's my 1 and my 2. See, these are 2 wholes. And 2 6. 1, 2. Do you see that? Okay, so yours could be different. Yours could be extra fancy, but if you did something like that, you are correct. Okay, measure each to the nearest centimeter. So you're going to get out your ruler and nearest inch. Now, if it's a little before the centimeter or a little after, you're just going to round it to the nearest centimeter and the nearest inch, and you're going to fill it in. I'm going to pause the video. You are going to measure nearest centimeter and inch. So centimeter goes here, inch goes here. Pause the video. Do not copy Mrs. Cornthal. But what I am going to do is after you pause it, I'm going to fill in the answers for you. So now is your turn to pause. If you have not paused, pause now. Okay, if you are unpaused, that means you have already measured these all by yourself. Okay, and if you got it right and you rounded it to the nearest centimeter, this first one is 7 centimeters. And it's about 3 inches. The next line is about 8 centimeters and about 3 inches. What, Mrs. Cornthal? How could these both be 3 inches? Well, guess what? If we are rounding, centimeters are much smaller, so you can get a little bit more accurate with centimeters. But this is still the closest inch to each of those. Okay, if you measured the number 18 line right here, you got about 4 centimeters, which is about 2 inches. About. Okay? Remember, when you're starting on your ruler, I'm going to go actually back up to this ruler thing right here. Most rulers have this space on the end, right? Start your measuring, put your line, use a different color. Not that one either. Start your line. If you're measuring a line, start it at the 0. Do not start it at the end of the ruler, okay? Because this is where the measuring starts. So if you want to go back and remeasure those, maybe that's why you missed it. Okay, number 19. It's about 10 centimeters and about 4 inches. If you got that, awesome. If you are happy to go measure stuff around your house. Have a good time. See how long your different fingers are. See how long your shoe is. See how much longer your shoe is than your brother's. Okay? But have a good time. And I love you. Keep loving God. Loving God. And loving your neighbor. Loving your neighbor. And I will tell you, that might be harder to do since you've been trapped with your neighbors at your house for very long. Sometimes we get grouchy at our nearest neighbors, which is usually our family right now. So continue to love them, serve them, play a game with them that they might like, that you maybe is not your favorite. Give them a break if they want some alone time and you just want to play. Be gracious to your parents, because guess what? They want to see their friends too and get out of the house. So continue loving God, being grateful for what you have, thankful that you're still able to do your schoolwork, thankful that you're still learning and growing, thankful that you're not in the hospital, thankful that you have a family who is invested in you and taking care of you. So keep that in mind. And for fun, look for fractions today. Look for parts and wholes and mixed numbers of things. Maybe make a sandwich. Help your mom make lunch and cut your sandwich into fun fractions. You decide.